Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on this invisible force that powers pretty much everything you do online. It's one of the most important pieces of technology ever created, but you know what? Most people have never even seen it.
So let's just start with a big question. What do you think really powers our modern world? I'm talking about the phone in your pocket, the servers that are delivering this very content to you right now. What's the invisible engine running it all?
Well, the answer might surprise you. It's not some product from a single mega corporation. Nope, it's something way more interesting. An operating system that was built by everyone, for everyone. We're talking about Linux.
Okay, so to really appreciate what makes Linux so incredibly special, we've got to start with the basics. Let's ask a really fundamental question. What even is an operating system?
Think of it like this. An operating system is the essential bridge between you and your computer's actual physical hardware. It's the manager, right? It's in charge of everything. The processor, the memory, the storage, just making sure all the software you use can actually talk to the machine and run properly. So with that in mind, let's jump back to 1991. There was this student in Finland, Linus Torvalds, and he started a little personal project. He wanted to create a brand new, totally free operating system that anybody could use and, more importantly, improve. And that little project? Well, that became Linux.
And this right here gets to the philosophy at its core, which is it's revolutionary. With Linux, anyone, and I mean anyone, can view the code, they can modify the code, and they can improve the code. That is the incredible power of open source. It's not some locked box. It's a global collaborative effort. So all that global collaboration, it built something ridiculously powerful and stable. So let's pop the hood and take a look at the very heart of Linux, the kernel. You see, every operating system has a kernel, but for Linux, it's everything. The kernel is this central command center. It's the piece that talks directly to the hardware. It manages the CPU's schedule, it allocates memory, it controls every single device connected to your machine. It is the true core of the entire system. And this just shows you the beautiful logic of its architecture. At the very bottom, you've got the physical hardware. The kernel sits right on top of that, acting as the manager. Then you have the shell. You can think of that as the language you use to give orders to the kernel. And finally, sitting on top of all of that are all the applications you actually interact with. It's just a clean, powerful structure. Now, let's see how all of that translates to the user experience. We're going to explore the different ways you can actually interact with Linux through its shells, its GUIs, and its unique distros. So you've got two main ways to pilot this ship. On one side, there's the command line shell. This is where you type direct text commands, and it gives you this precise surgical control over every part of the system. Then, on the other side, you have the graphical user interface, or GUI. This is the visual desktop, with the icons and windows that most of us are used to. And Linux offers both, letting you choose your own adventure. And that whole idea of choice, man, that is a huge theme in the Linux world. Because Linux isn't just one thing. It comes in hundreds of different flavors, called distributions, or distros for short. Popular ones like Ubuntu and Fedora, they each package that same Linux kernel with different software and different designs, all to suit different needs. All right, now that we know what Linux is, let's talk about where it is. Because the truth is, Linux is the hidden giant of the tech world. It is, and I mean this quite literally, everywhere. Okay. Let's start with the internet itself. The websites you visit every day, the streaming services you use, the cloud storage for all your photos. Something like 90% of all that public cloud infrastructure runs on Linux. It is the backbone of the modern web. And when it comes to the most powerful machines on the entire planet, it's not even a competition. 100%. Every single one of the world's top 500 supercomputers runs on Linux. Why? Because when you're simulating a galaxy or trying to cure a disease, you need absolute stability and control. For the biggest jobs, Linux is the only choice. But it's not just in these massive data centers. There's a very, very good chance you have a piece of Linux in your pocket right this second. Over 3 billion Android devices all over the world are powered by the Linux kernel. That footprint is just staggering. So who are the people actively choosing to use it day to day? Well, you'll find developers who need a powerful programming environment. You'll find scientists running unbelievably complex simulations, cybersecurity experts who are securing our networks, and all the system administrators who keep our digital world humming. It's the go-to tool for builders and innovators. Which brings us to our final section. What is it about Linux that gives it this kind of power? Why do so many people choose it? Well, let's talk about the freedom to build. It really just boils down to these three things. First, rock-solid security. Its whole permission-based architecture just makes it inherently more secure than a lot of other systems. Second, you get unmatched stability and performance. I mean, Linux systems are famous for running for years without ever needing a reboot. And third, limitless customization. You can change almost anything to make the system work exactly the way you want it to. Of course, there is a trade-off for all that power. For a lot of people, unlocking Linux's full potential means getting comfortable with the command line, and that can be a new skill to learn. It's a challenge for sure, but a really rewarding one. But for millions, that trade-off is more than worth it. This quote just captures the spirit perfectly. Powered by Linux, driven by freedom. It's so much more than just software. It's a philosophy. It's about control and collaboration and possibility. And that really is the ultimate takeaway here. Linux isn't just an operating system. It's a tool that gives you the freedom to create, to innovate, and to build. So the only real question left is, what will you build with it?